Good morning, everyone. My name is Callie, and welcome to what might very well be the last entry in my transition diary, at least as it has been. I did miss month 11, obviously, uh, because my job has this summer camp program, and I had quite literally no days off in June. Um, but as I hit the 1 year mark just a few days ago, it felt necessary to pick this back up. And I did want to, of course. Um, this is actually my third attempt to record this video over the past couple of days. And none of the other ones were terribly difficult. They also weren't terribly planned. If you've watched them, you know that they're a bit rambly. I pick one or two things to sort of focus on and go with that. And this is actually the first time that I really didn't want to particularly. Not, I mean, there were previous videos where I didn't really want to do it because of other factors or other things going on, but I've reached a point where there's not, I don't want to say there's nothing to say. Things are changing, and I do still have progress to make, obviously, and there's still progress that's happening, but as time has gone on, and especially as things have become more normal, the process of it has simply become somewhat less interesting. And some of that is, of course, because the changes continue, but the changes are not new, right? There are changes to my skin, to the shape of my face. There are changes to my hair and changes to my chest size. But these are all things I've talked about. There's nothing exactly new about them. But honestly, I think more than all of that, my focus has shifted a bit. And to explain this, I want to tell you a really quick story. On Friday, which was the 1 year anniversary of me starting HRT, I met with a dear old friend of mine, and who I hadn't seen in quite a few months. And I was dressed in women's clothing, and I had brought a change of clothes for work because I had still not been. The only place where I have still been wearing men's clothing and still have been presenting as a man has been when I teach. As I mentioned earlier, that is sort of terrifying. And as we were having coffee, at one point she told me, "Don't get changed. You look great. Just go and be you. No one's going to care." Uh, and I don't respond well to challenges, or perhaps I do. I get very combative sometimes when challenged on certain things, and at this point I was like, you know what, fine, I'll do it. Let's see what happens. I need to do it sometime. And very clearly, as with a lot of other things, I had been overthinking this and more worried about it than literally anybody else. Nobody cared. Nobody even, like, they had to notice, but it didn't matter. Nothing changed. And with that experience kind of came the realization that the thing I've been working towards of living this way all day, every day, forever, is kind of here. And obviously, again, that like there are things that will continue to change, and there are things I will continue to work on and get better at putting on eyeliner, which obviously I'm not wearing any makeup right now, obviously. But the yeah, it was more just the idea of like this is normal now, and it feels right, and it feels fine, and that's kind of really the point, right? I went back to Thailand a few weeks ago now for my 1 year checkup. The shortest and simplest doctor visit I've ever had in my life. Uh, they looked at my blood work. They said, "You look healthy. Everything looks fine. Do you have any symptoms?" And they gave me a sort of list of possible things that could be happening. And I said, "No, I feel fine. Everything's good." And that was it. And just moved on to this being and feeling normal. And that really kind of comes back to where my focus is. The process itself is no longer the object of interest that it was when I started, right? Everything was new and different and everything was exciting, and it still is. Don't get me wrong. Like, I stand by what I said earlier in that this is far and away the best decision I've ever made in my life, at least personally. And but at this point, I just want to focus on living, on being myself in the world, and bring my focus back onto the things that I love doing and the people that I love spending time with and all of that. And like, I've been trying not to neglect those things as I've done it, but as I've been doing this, but my focus has very clearly been on the transition itself, and having that sort of fade into the background a bit it feels a bit strange after living with this and having it occupy so much of my brain all day, every day for like a year. But it's also the goal, right? The goal is for this to just be a fact in the background, one more thing to describe who I am, but not something that is so all-consuming. And getting there seems like a victory all by itself. Um, yeah. So, I mean, with that means this is going to really be the end of like the regular monthly update videos that I've been doing. I may still update this channel if I have other videos that I feel like I need to make. If I do decide in the future to get any surgeries of any kind, I may do some videos about that process because that's always a bit interesting and informative, and again important to talk about, I think. And if there are some like really big changes or substantial changes, things that I feel like are necessary to talk about, I may do that. I also am planning to, once work calms down a bit in about a month, do a sort of compilation video of everything I learned and everything that happened in the first year, and sort of all compress it into one video, so you don't have to sit through, an hour and a half or a couple hours of my rambling through stuff. And yeah, because I think it would be good to have all of that in one place. But other than that, I'm going to go touch some grass. I'm going to go outside, do some rock climbing, hang out with some people, hopefully finish writing my novel, and that's really it. So, and I know this is not a channel that's gotten like massive amount of views or anything. I wouldn't expect it to. But I do want to say to all of my friends, old and new, the people who have reconnected with me, who I knew decades ago. If you're watching this, I thank you for being here. And for all of my newer friends, all the people I know here in Vietnam who have been with me for all of this, your support means the world to me. Everybody's support and love through all of this has meant everything. I couldn't have gotten this far without all of you, and I suspect I'm still going to need some love and support going forward, as I guess we all do. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you out in the world. Take care of each other.